Jack the Ripper, DNA, finally unmasks the infamous killer. Imagine this. A foggy night in 1888, gas lamps flickering weakly against the damp cobblestones of London's Whitechapel district. The air smells of coal smoke and despair, a place where shadows swallow hope. A woman hurries through the alley, her footsteps echoing until they stop. A blade glints in the dark, a scream is stifled, and blood stains the stones. This is no fiction, it's the world of Jack the Ripper, the shadowy killer who carved his name into history with the mutilated bodies of at least 5 women. For over a century, his identity has been a locked vault, taunting detectives, historians, and armchair sleuths alike. Now a key has turned. In 2025, new DNA evidence claims to unmask the Ripper at last. Aaron Kosminski, a Polish barber with a troubled mind. Headlines scream certainty, but the shadows whisper doubt. Tonight, we plunge into this revelation, peeling back layers of history, science, and suspicion. Was Kosminski truly the monster of Whitechapel, or is this another twist in a tale that refuses to die? Welcome to Legends Unveiled, where the truth is never as simple as it seems. But before we dive in, this video is going to be a little different and focus on more information than normal as we discuss current DNA evidence and introduce characters in the story. As such, the format has changed. Let us know how you like it and how it compares to our past video formats. Scene 2. The Whitechapel Murders, a Reign of Terror. Let's step back to 1888. Whitechapel was a festering wound in Victorian London, overcrowded, poverty-stricken, a labyrinth of slums where survival meant scraping by any way you could. Amid this chaos, a killer emerged. Between August and November, 5 women, Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, met gruesome ends. Their throats were slashed, their bodies mutilated with surgical precision, some stripped of organs in a grotesque display of control. The press dubbed him Jack the Ripper after a chilling letter, signed with that name, arrived at a news agency, taunting police with promises of more carnage. The city was gripped by fear, the police overwhelmed, and the killer vanished into the fog. No arrests, no confessions, just a trail of blood and a mystery that's haunted us for 137 years. These canonical 5 murders became the cornerstone of the Ripper legend, though some believe his tally stretched higher. What drove this phantom? Madness, revenge, or something colder, more calculated? The answers, it seemed, were lost to time, until now. Scene 3. The suspect, Aaron Kosminski, a name that's lingered in Ripper lore since the beginning. Born in 1865 in Poland, he fled anti-Jewish pogroms with his family, landing in Whitechapel's gritty streets in the early 1880s. A barber by trade, or barber surgeon as they were sometimes called, he wielded blades daily, cutting hair, and perhaps more. By 1888, he was 23, living mere streets from the murder scenes, a man unraveling under schizophrenia's grip. Police records paint a disturbing picture. He heard voices, harbored a deep hatred for women, especially prostitutes, and was prone to violent outbursts. In 1891, he was committed to an asylum, where he'd die in 1919, gangrene claiming his leg and his secrets. Chief Constable Melville McNaughton named him a prime suspect in 1894, citing his homicidal tendencies. A witness even identified him, though refused to testify. Kosminski was never charged. Evidence was thin, and Victorian policing lacked the tools to pin him down. But his shadow loomed large, a figure who fit the Ripper's profile like a glove. Could this tormented barber really be Jack? Scene 4. The Shawl, a time capsule of clues. Fast forward to 2007. a silk shawl, stained with blood and time, surfaces at an auction in Suffolk, England. It's no ordinary relic. Russell Edwards, a self-styled Ripperologist, snaps it up, claiming it was found beside Catherine Eddowes' mutilated body in Meter Square on September 30th, 1888. The story goes that a policeman, Amos Simpson, took it as a macabre keepsake, passing it to his wife, who, wisely, never washed it. Edwards guards it like a treasure, calling it the only piece of forensic evidence in the whole case. In 2014, he commissions Dr. Jari Louhelainen, a biochemist, to test it. The results? Mitochondrial DNA, passed through maternal lines, matches a descendant of Eddowes, confirming her blood. More shocking, semen stains align with a relative of Kosminski's sister. Edwards declares the case closed. Kosminski is Jack the Ripper, a 100% DNA match. The shawl becomes a sensation, a bridge between 1888 and today. But its provenance is shaky. No police report mentions a shawl at the scene, and its journey through countless hands raises cries of contamination. Is this the smoking gun or a Victorian red herring? Scene 5. The DNA breakthrough of 2025. In February 2025, the story explodes anew. Edwards, now armed with refined DNA techniques, doubles down. Working with genealogists, he tracks a living descendant of Kosminski's oldest brother, a great-great-granddaughter who provides a fresh sample. The results, he claims, are undeniable. A perfect match to the shawl's semen, bolstered by advanced sequencing unavailable a decade ago. The blood, retested, still ties to Eddowes' lineage with chilling precision. Edwards tells Today Australia, "It's the most amazing moment of my life, closure for the victims' families." Karen Miller, a descendant of Eddowes, joins the crusade, demanding a new inquest to legally name Kosminski. "We've got proof," she says. "It's time for justice." The news electrifies true crime circles, with headlines proclaiming the Ripper unmasked after 137 years. Yet skeptics sharpen their knives. Geneticists argue mitochondrial DNA isn't unique enough. Thousands in 1888 London could share it. The shawl's chain of custody remains a gaping wound, and some whisper Edwards, once accused of faking evidence in another case, might be spinning a tale. Science and suspicion collide, and the truth hangs in the balance. Scene 6. The Descendant's Quest, a new character. Meet Sarah Miller. She's Karen's cousin, a 35-year-old London librarian, and Eddowes' great-great-great-niece. Raised on whispered family tales of Catherine's brutal end, Sarah's spent years researching the Ripper, driven by a need to reclaim her ancestors' story from the killer's shadow. When the 2025 DNA news breaks, she's torn, hopeful yet wary. In our tale, Sarah digs deeper, tracking down old police logs, asylum records, and even a faded journal from Kosminski's sister, unearthed in a dusty archive. The journal hints at Aaron's descent, nights he'd vanish, returning with bloodshot eyes, muttering about cleansing the filth. Sarah's journey becomes a race against doubt, her quiet life unraveling as she confronts a legacy of violence. She meets Edwards, a man obsessed with vindication, and clashes with Dr. Turi King, a geneticist who warns this isn't proof, it's a possibility. Sarah, personal, conflicted, a woman seeking truth in a maze of science and myth. Scene 7. The theories. What really happened? So what's the truth behind the Ripper? Let's explore the possibilities, each a thread in this tangled web. Kosminski, the killer. The DNA points to Aaron Kosminski as Jack, a barber with the skill, motive, and madness to carve up Whitechapel. His asylum stint aligns with the murder's end, suggesting he was locked away before he could kill again. The contamination conundrum. Skeptics argue the shawl's a mess, handled by dozens over a century, its DNA a stew of Victorian Londoners. Kosminski's match could be coincidence, not evidence. A royal cover-up? Some cling to wilder tales. Kosminski is a pawn for a royal conspiracy, silencing women who knew too much. The shawl? Planted to mislead. The wrong man. What if Kosminski's just a scapegoat? Another suspect, H.H. Holmes, the American killer, or James Maybrick, with his disputed diary, could he be the Ripper and the DNA's a false trail? The tulpa twist. Here's a curveball. What if the Ripper wasn't one man, but a manifestation of Whitechapel's collective fear? A psychic entity, fueled by panic, leaving real bodies, and Kosminski's DNA as a bystander's trace. Each theory pulls us deeper, a puzzle with no edge pieces. Scene 8. The cultural echoes. Jack the Ripper didn't just kill, he reshaped the world. His spree birthed modern true crime, turned Whitechapel into a dark tourism hub, and inspired everything from Sherlock Holmes to slasher films. The 2025 DNA stirs that pot again, with documentaries like Who Killed the Ripper, slated for release, promising fresh interviews and unseen files. Sarah's story mirrors a society still obsessed, haunted by a faceless evil we can't let go. The Ripper's shadow questions our trust in justice, science, even reality. If Kosminski's named, does it heal the past, or just feed the legend? Scene 9. Conclusion. An open wound. So where does this leave us? Is Aaron Kosminski Jack the Ripper, his DNA the final nail in a coffin built of blood and silk? Or is the shawl a mirage, leading us astray in a mystery too deep to solve? Sarah stands at a crossroads, her ancestor's killer perhaps revealed, yet the fog of doubt lingers. The 2025 evidence is compelling, but not airtight. Could Scotland Yard reopen the case, exhuming Kosminski's grave for nuclear DNA to seal the deal? Will future tech peel back more layers, or are we doomed to chase ghosts? The Ripper's legacy is a mirror, reflecting our hunger for answers, our fear of the unknown. What do you think? Was Kosminski the blade in the dark, or just another lost soul in Whitechapel's chaos? Share your theories below. Here on Legends Unveiled, we dive into the mysteries that grip us, the myths that define us. Like, subscribe and hit the bell. You won't want to miss our next journey into the shadows right here on Legends Unveiled.